Guys, it's Kyla. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Today I'm going to be tier ranking every single book that I read in 2022. I thought it would be fun to kind of do my yearly wrap up this way. Just because, you know, like sitting here talking about books is great, but like tier ranking is also something that I enjoy doing very much. So I thought it was a fun little twist. We're just going to get started right onto this video. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a while. So grab a snack, grab some popcorn, a drink, and let's go ahead and just get started with it. So I'm going to explain my tier ranks real quick. So the top one is Mr. Darcy's Hand Flex Perfection. This is perfection because, you know, Pride and Prejudice was amazing. The movie, the book, everything about it. Top tier, 6 out of 5 star books. Put Me In is the next category that's like 4 stars, 4.5. Like you were almost there, but like put me in. I would love to be in that world. The third one is You Were Third on the Pyramid and You Were Third Overall. These are my 3-star books, maybe some 4 stars. I don't know, we'll see. But that's like mid. Like you were alright, not my favorite, not awful, but you were there. Next one is I Read These. I'm just gonna put the books that like I don't remember reading in here. If I don't know much about the books, whatever it is, they're gonna go in there. The fourth one is I Can't Keep Having This Same Conversation. These are like my mid to terrible books. They're like my 2 stars. Like everything about this has been like repeated, like I'm tired of it, you know, can't keep having the same conversation, you know, I've seen you before. And then the last one is You Are the Problem Actually. These are my DNF books. These are my 1-star books, books I absolutely hated, that were terrible, that just didn't deserve to be read. So these are my tier ranks. I'm not going to go in order by like month I read these books. I'm just going to go with however these are down here. And I'm also not going to go into depth with these books. I'm just going to tell you like what I rated them, what I thought about them. I'm not going to be giving like any synopsis. You can go back and watch like my monthly wrap-ups if you want to know more about these books. But the first one is going to be Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. This one put me in 4 stars. Absolutely, I love this book. Next one is Ugly Love. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in You Were Third on the Pyramid and You Were Third Overall. I did give this book a 5 stars at the beginning of the year whenever I first read it. Looking back on it, I'm probably gonna give it a 3 stars or like a 3.5. As a reader, your tastes get different and things change. Just looking back on it, like, I don't know, I probably would never reread this book. I remember it being beautiful, but at the same time, like, it was a little weird. Alright, so now we're gonna do the Jodi Arias series by Lauren Asher. Throttled, Put Me In, Collided. It was a 4.5. It was like almost there. You know what I mean? Like you were almost there. I'm probably gonna put Wrecked and Redeemed. All these books, Throttled and Collided were both like a 4.5, almost 5-star for me, and then Wrecked and Redeemed were both a 4-star for me. I would love to be in that world, that Formula 1 world. Each one of these books follows a Formula 1 driver, and I would love to be in this world, just in general, to be with them. Twisted Love, Mr. Darcy Hand Flex Perfection. I love this book. I love the Twisted series. Twisted Games is also going there, and so is Twisted Lies. Twisted Hate was a 4-star for me. I did not love it. I mean, I loved it, but I wasn't like obsessed with it how I am with like Twisted Love, Games, and Lies. Twisted Love, Twisted Games, and Twisted Lies are like my favorite books out of this entire year. I love them so freaking much. You follow this friend group, and the friend group has 4 girls. Each girl gets a book. Twisted Love is a brother's best friend romance. Twisted Games is bodyguard romance. Twisted Hate is enemies to lovers, best friend's brother. And Twisted Lies is boy obsessed trope, and it's absolutely amazing. It's fake dating. I loved it. This entire series is top tier 5 stars for me. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. A lot of you are not going to be happy with me with what I decided to put this in, but I don't like it. I gave this book a 2 stars, I believe. I did not love this book. It was not my favorite. Remember trying to read the second book of this series, and it just was not good to me. Did not like it. I DNF'd it, actually. It's not on this list, but I did DNF it. Now we get into the Bad Habit trilogy by Charlie Rose. Bad Habit, we're gonna put in You Are the Problem Actually. This book was awful. I gave this one either 2 or 1 stars. I don't even know. I just remember hating it. It is a brother's best friend romance, but it was just so cheesy and so cringy and just so bad. Did not like this one at all. Bad Intentions, I'm gonna put me in. I did love this book. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book was so good. This woman, she comes into the town and she is just trying to like reinvent her life. She's taking care of her younger brother, and you see her fall in love with the tattoo shop artist person, guy, whatever. It's just so beautiful, and I love the female lead in this book. I love the guy character. It was great. And then Bad Influence, it was a 3-star. I don't remember much of it, honestly. I remember I liked it, but it's not too memorable. This one, a lot of you are going to be upset with me about. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It was a 2-star book for me. I don't think any other Harry Potter book is on this list. I don't know why, but my Goodreads did not track it at all for this year, and I'm not sure why. But I did read all up to the 5th book. I'm just going to let Harry Potter contribute to all of the Harry Potter books that I read. They were all like 2 or 3 stars for me. I did not enjoy any of them. I love the movies a lot more than I like the books, which I know a lot of people are like, oh well, I like the, like, you love the books more than the movies. That's usually how it is, but for the Harry Potter series, I like the movies more. Next one is A Love Letter to Whiskey. We all know where this is going. Mr. Darcy's hand flex perfection. If I could get everybody to read like one book, it would be A Love Letter to Whiskey. It is so freaking good. It is a second chance romance that just keeps on giving. It's so amazing. I love that book. And then we have 2 books from the Vampire Academy series, Frostbite and Shadow Kiss. Frostbite, put me in. Shadow Kiss, put me in. The entire Vampire Academy series I love. I reread the first one right at the end of 2021, and I read the 2nd and the 3rd book at the beginning of this year. I didn't pick up the rest of them just because I started reading other books I wanted to read, but I do want to try to finish the series for like the 2nd or 3rd time for sure. But I love this entire series. Then Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Don't remember this one. I know all of her books are like Disney retellings, I believe. I'm not too sure, but I didn't really like this book. It's a dark romance. Not my favorite. It was alright, and I don't remember much of it to rate it. I mean, I guess I could put it in 3 stars. I don't remember. I'm just gonna put it there. The Love Hypothesis, probably put it in You Were Third on the Pyramid and 3rd overall. I think I gave this book a 4 stars whenever I first read it, but looking back on it, it's kind of mid compared to like the other great books I read this year. It is a good book, don't get me wrong. Like, if you want to pick it up, I highly suggest it, but it's not like mind-blowing, wow, it's amazing, you know? And then The Problem with Forever, I'm gonna put it also in 3 stars. I think I did give it 3 stars. Like, it was good. The idea of it was amazing. What she was doing with it was amazing. I feel like the ending, though, was a tad bit rushed. I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more in depth. It was alright. It was good, and I would recommend it, but yeah. It was a little rushed. And then we get into the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I love this series. I do want to reread all of this entire series. The first one is Brutal Prince. Gave it 3 stars. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it was good. Stolen Heir. I also gave this one 3 stars. It wasn't like wow, but it wasn't like terrible. Bloody Heart, this was perfection for me. This one is a second chance romance. It was amazing. Broken Vow also was perfection for me. This one is a enemies to lovers, bodyguard type of romance. Then we have Heavy Crown. I honestly don't remember this one. I kind of rushed through this series, so I think that's why. It's definitely another reason why I want to reread this series, but I honestly don't remember much of this book to put it anywhere else on this list. But Savage Lover, I gave this one a 4 stars. I read the first 2, which is Brutal Prince and Stolen Heir, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue reading this. I'll read the 3rd one and see. Savage Lover is the reason why I kept on reading this series, and I'm so happy that I did, because right after came Bloody Heart and Broken Vow, which are some of my favorite books of this entire year. So now we have The Predator and the Reaper. This is another dark romance series. It is by Runic. It is a part of the Dark Verse series. I think there's 5 or 6 books. It's really, really good. I've only read the first 2, but I do want to read the rest of them. The Predator, 5 stars. I love this book. It was amazing. It was just so good. And then The Reaper was also another 5 stars for me. These 2, they follow the same 2 characters. The other books have like their own characters that they follow, but these 2 follow the same ones. The storyline of these 2 books are amazing. The plot twist that happened in this book, just I did not see coming. These 2 books had me on my toes the entire time I was reading them. And then we have Lila by Ashley Montgomery. I'm gonna put it as mid. You know, I read this on Wattpad. I've read it before. I know that I have, but it was years since the last time I read it. But yeah, it wasn't like awful, but it wasn't great. Like, it definitely needs some editing for sure. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one as well. All I Want Is You by E.L. Todd. I read actually 14 books from this series. This series like is over 60 books. I read 14 of them in just 1 month because they were super easy to read, and I just wanted something to read. This one picture is going to represent all of them, and I'm going to put it as you were mid. Like, you were third on the pyramid, you were third overall. You know, none of them were inherently bad. Like, I gave pretty much all of them a 3 stars just because they were quick, they were easy to read. I actually loved the characters in all of these books. I thought they were super fun. I thought they were super relatable. You know, you follow this big friend group that goes to college together and they graduate college together, and you start to follow them throughout their life. And I'm sure as you go on, it gets like about their kids, it gets even better. But there's so many tropes in this series because like you're following so many different people at the same time. It was really fun to read, actually. I really enjoyed them. So Shatter Me series, I don't know why these two are separated, but yeah, I'm putting them in perfection. This entire series, the entire Shatter Me series, is my favorite series of all time. I freaking love these books so much. Juliet, Warner, Kenji, everybody from this series, like, I love them all so much. I want nothing but love for all these characters. I love them. Let's do the off-campus series. The Deal, it was mid, and a lot of people love this series, and I know that. This series personally isn't my favorite. The Deal, it was alright. Would I recommend this book to people? Yeah, sure. Would I read it or pick it up again? No. This one was also mid. It was alright. If you don't know what the off-campus series is about, it's about these group of friends. You have these hockey players at this college. They live on an off-campus house, and you get to follow each one of them as they go through like their love story. You get the girl and the guy's point of view, but we're gonna continue talking about them. The next one is, let's do The Goal. It was alright. Not the best, not awful. Just alright. The Legacy was alright. Oh, but The Chase and the Risk, I freaking love these books. Put me in. I would reread these books. I want to reread these books. The Chase and the Risk are actually part of the Bar U series, which is the spin-off series of the off-campus one. I personally love the Bar U series a lot more. I think the writing is a lot better than the off-campus series. So, oh, the score though, this one is my favorite out of the entire off-campus series. I give it a 4 star. Allie and Dean are my 2 favorite couples. Now let's talk about the fine print and terms and conditions. Fine print was a 2 star. Terms and Conditions was a 1 star for me. I did not like these 2 books. I loved the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher, but the fine print Terms and Conditions are not my favorite. They are both Grumpy Sunshine, and I just don't love Grumpy Sunshine. It is not my favorite at all, and these 2 books were way too similar for me to give them a fair rating, honestly. Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn, The Duke and I, this was a 3 star. It was alright, you know. I thought the show was actually better than the book for the first one, but the Viscount Who Loved Me put me in. Actually, Viscount Who Loved Me is a 5 star for me. It is Mr. Darcy's hand-flex perfection. I love this book. The second book is way better than the second season of the show. Just the love story between Anthony and Kate was just so beautiful. Chapter 12 will always be on my mind forever. And then Offer from a Gentleman, also 5 stars, perfection. It is a Cinderella retelling. It is Benedict's story. Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. If you do not know what to read and you just want like some kind of historical romance, pick up the Bridgerton series. It is amazing. It is beautiful. Where Good Girls Go to Die, I don't remember this book. I remember not liking it, but I think that's about it. I don't remember much of it. And then we get into spin-off series of the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. It's called the Kingmaker series. Okay, so we have The Heir. I love this book. Put me in. It was amazing. It is childhood friends to lovers with a love triangle in there. It was great. I loved it. The Rebel, I really don't remember this book. I think I gave it a 3 stars though. The Bully, I actually love this one. The Spy, I don't remember this one, honestly. And The Savage, I also don't remember this one. I'm actually going to move The Rebel down. As I said, I went through the Brutal Birthright series so fast. I read it in a week, and then right after I read that, I read the Kingmaker series. I know that I love this series, but I cannot tell you anything about it other than The Heir and The Bully. Like, I do not remember The Spy, I do not remember The Savage, and I do not remember The Rebel at all, and I wish that I did. I just read books like too fast, and I don't fully comprehend them, which is my own fault, but yeah, I want to reread these, as I said. And then The Confidence of Wildflowers and The Resurrection of Wildflowers, I loved both of these books. These books are so heartbreaking, but so beautiful at the same exact time. I'm actually gonna put The Resurrection in Put Me In. This was like a 4 star for me. It wasn't as amazing as the first book. I loved both of these books so much. The Confidence of Wildflowers is an age gap romance. I would recommend, even if you're like, oh, I don't really like age gap stuff, pick it up, at least read half of it, see if you like it, and then figure it out if you want to continue reading it from there. I really enjoyed this duology. Next one is Things We Never Got Over. This was a loved book by everybody, but me on the other hand, it is a problem. I did not like this book. It's a Grumpy Sunshine. I don't like Grumpy Sunshines. I didn't really figure that out until I read this book, but yeah, did not enjoy this book at all. And then we have Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I don't remember this one. I know it's a Lion King retelling, but that's about it. Serenading Heartbreak. This was a brother's best friend romance, I believe. It is a problem. Did not like this book. Also gave this one a 1 star. It was just awful. I would not recommend it to anybody. And then Broken Night. I gave it a 2 star. I enjoyed, but I didn't love, and I didn't enjoy that much. 1,000 Boy Kisses, I think it would be a sin to put that in a 4 star. I think it would be a sin to put it anywhere lower than a 5 star because I read this book and I finished it in one night and the entire time I was crying. The emotions that this book makes you feel is just so sad. But I did love this book, and if you need to cry, like if you need a reason to cry, pick up this book. It will give you a reason to cry. And then Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is also another book that everybody loves and that everybody cherishes. It is a lot of people's favorite book. Me, on the other hand, I gave it a 3 stars. I do have a reading vlog up, and I did say that I gave this a 5 stars, but looking back and just as my book taste has changed, I do give this book a 3 stars. Like, it was beautiful and it was amazing, but I don't think I would enjoy it if I read it again, if that makes sense. I don't think I would. And then we have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. I love this book. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was like a 4.5. It was almost a 5 stars. Like, it was like right there, but it just wasn't there yet. I did enjoy this book a lot. And speaking of, I did read Birthday Kisses by Monica Murphy yesterday, actually. Also a 4 stars. It was beautiful. It was so cute to like see them and these two characters go from that and just grow up and love each other so much again. I love this book. Then we have The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. I remember reading this book. I am gonna put it in I can't keep having the same conversations. It was like a 2 or a 3 star book. I remember whenever I started, I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, and I read it and I was like, okay, it's kind of good, and then the ending, I was like, okay, kind of weird again. It wasn't very memorable and it wasn't very amazing, but I did enjoy it. Also, I want to point out that I read 122 books this year. This is a lot for me. The next one is Addicted to You and Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. We're just gonna do the whole entire Addicted Calloway Sisters series real quick. Addicted to You, I gave this one a 4 stars, and same as Ricochet. And then the next one, Addicted for Now, 5 stars. Amazing, perfection. I love this book. And then Hot House Flower and Kiss the Sky, 5 stars. Freaking loved this book. And same as Hot House Flower. Hot House Flower is my favorite book of this entire series so far. Daisy and Reich are my 2 favorite characters of this entire series. I relate to Daisy so freaking much, and I love Reich's character so much. I love how he is unapologetically himself, and I love how he's also teaching Daisy to be herself, and I just love the character growth of Daisy, and it's just so beautiful to me. I love Rose and Connor. Just their story is beautiful and I love them. Alright, Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, 5 stars, 6 stars, 10 million stars. I love this book, but I love this book. It is a love triangle, but like the most beautiful love triangle you will ever read in your entire life. It's just perfection. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Same as I said about the other Harry Potter books earlier, it was a 2 star. The Upside of Falling, though, I loved this book. It was a 5 star for me. This is a YA romance. It's very cheesy, and if you do not like cheesy books, do not pick it up. If you do not like YA books, this is like the most YA book you will ever get. But I loved it. It was a 5 star because it got me out of reading slump, and it just reminded me, like, I read for fun. I don't read for anybody else. I read for me. I really loved it. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. A lot of people rave about this book, and I do want to pick up her newest book, The Do-Over. I, however, did not really enjoy this book. I gave it a 3 stars. I do understand why people hype it up so much. It wasn't for me. You know, it just wasn't for me. And then we have Heartbroken by Gabrielle G. I don't remember this one, honestly. I don't remember anything about it. I couldn't tell you what it's about at all. I couldn't even tell you a single trope. All the Little Things by Rachel Lee. Did not like this book. It was a brother's best friend romance, but it was so bad and I did not like it. Then we have Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. Dance of Thieves was a 5 star book. I freaking love the start of this series. It is a enemies to lovers fantasy romance. This is like the first fantasy book that I picked up all year long. Well, other than The Cruel Prince and Harry Potter, but I didn't really like those. This is the first fantasy book that I picked up that I loved. And then Vow of Thieves was a 4 star. This duology is just beautiful. I loved the storyline of these 2 books, and I just love the characters so much. And then we have If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I love this book. This book made me cry. I read it while I was on a trip, and I cried myself to sleep because it was so heartbreaking, but so beautiful at the same exact time. Then we have Bring Me Back by Michaela Smeltzer, I believe how you say it. I gave this one one either a 3 or a 4 stars. I'll put in the 4 stars. It was so beautiful. It was heartbreaking. This book really teaches you a lot about grief, about how to deal with grief, about how to deal with heartbreak, but also how you can ask for help and ask other people to just come into your life and help you. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, another book that everybody loved. I actually hated this book. I gave it a 1 stars. I think I DNF'd it actually. I don't remember. Either way, did not like this book. It was like Love in Other Words and all the little things came together, had a baby, and it was just awful. Yeah, I did not enjoy. And then we have Guarded by Dominique Wolfe. I remember this one being a bodyguard romance. I don't remember anything else about it. However, I am gonna put it in 2 stars because I do remember giving it 2 stars and I remember not really enjoying it. So, Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. This book was amazing. 5 stars. I loved this book. This is another book, a part of her Lancaster Prep series, I believe. Things I Meant to Say But Never Did. That one I did DNF. It's not on here, but I did DNF that book because I did not like it. But Promises We Meant to Keep was just so beautiful. It was a second chance romance. It is best friends to lovers. It has a timeline of then and now, and I just thought it was so amazing. I thought it was so creative, and I loved this book so much. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Also freaking love this book. Ice skater and hockey player romance. It has no miscommunication in it. It's not like the off-campus series. It actually has amazing writing, and I loved it so much. Next one is When Nothing Else Matters. Do not remember reading this book at all. I could not tell you a single thing about it. And then we have It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. 5 stars. Love this book. To be able to read It Ends With Us and then see just how the 2 characters from that book come back together and It Starts With Us was just so beautiful to me. A Hate Like This by Violet Bloom. It was a 4 stars. I loved this book actually. It's Grumpy Sunshine, but the girl is grumpy and the guy is sunshine, and as I said, I don't really like Grumpy Sunshine, but I do love Grumpy Sunshine whenever it's like reversed, like the girl is grumpy and the guy is sunshine. I don't know what it is about that, but it makes me very happy. It's enemies to lovers and it's rivals to lovers actually, and I think everyone should pick up this book because it's beautiful and because I love it. And then we have Quarterback Sneak. I don't remember who this is by. I know that I did not like this book at all. I think it's Candy Steiner, which I just want to point this out. How is A Love Letter to Whiskey my all-time favorite book, but another book by Candy Steiner, Quarterback Sneak, is awful? Like, I hated this book. Colty by Mara Zapata, 4 stars. Loved this book. It is a soccer player romance, and it is a very big slow burn. It is, I think, the only Mara Zapata book that I read this year. I just loved it. I have to be in the mood for her books for sure because they are so long and because they have such a slow burn, but I was in the mood and I love this book. And then we have Meant to Be by Lauren Jackson. I do not remember reading this. I know that I read it last month, but I cannot tell you anything about it. And then we have Consider Me and Play With Me. Consider Me, I gave this one a 4 stars, and Play With Me, I also gave it a 4 stars. These 2 follow hockey players. I know that there's a 3rd book in the works, and I'm so excited to see the next person's book because it is my favorite character out of this entire series. Yeah, I really love these books. They're just so cute. And then we have The Play by Elle Kennedy. This is part of the Briar U series. I hated this book. This book I did not DNF because I wanted to see if it got better after a certain part of this book happened, but it did not. I was so disappointed. I did not like this book. I did read another Mara Zapata book. I think this was like at the very beginning of the year, and that's probably why I don't remember reading it. I know I gave this one a 2 stars though. I did not like this book at all. Something about it was off to me, and I did not like this book. I know a lot of people love it, but I could not get over the fact that the guy calls her Meatball, like whenever he used to call her fat and stuff, like that's why he calls her that. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, Meatball, such an endearing name. And I'm like, do you not remember whenever he called her that, whenever he was making fun of her being fat? Like, I did not like this book at all. And then we have Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Listen, I love the Twilight series. It is my favorite series of all time. Midnight Sun, I'm still reading it, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna DNF it, which makes me so sad because this book is Twilight, but in Edward's point of view. I don't know what it is about it, but this book is just so incredibly long. Like, it is 800 pages of this, and I love Edward. I love being in his mind, but I have to take that book in small doses. Like, I cannot sit there and read the entire thing. I don't know why, I just can't. And then Crave by Tracy Wolff, 4 stars. I actually audiobooked this book and I loved it. It's like if the Legacies, Twilight, and Vampire Diaries came together, had a baby, and created this like book, trashy vampire book. what more could you want? Next one is Chapter 3 by Marzi Opal. I love this book so much. It's like a 4.5. You get these kids who go to this prep school, and then they go to their school at night to do this like initiation thing. It's kind of enemies to lovers. It's second chance romance, and I love this book. I think I read it twice this year. Yeah. And then we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. 5 stars. I love this book so much. I cannot wait to read the other 2 books in this series. This book was just amazing, and I can understand why everybody hypes it up so much, and I wish that I would have read it sooner. And then we have the St. Mary prep duet, Good Girls Never Rise and Bad Boys Never Fall. I love how both of the covers make that little crest. I actually finished both of these books this morning, but I freaking loved both of these books. It is a 5-star read for me. These 2 books, beautiful. I loved every single bit of these 2 books. It is a darker romance. I would definitely recommend looking up the trigger warnings for these 2 books, but they are so beautiful, and I loved both of them so much. And then there you go. This is my entire tier list of all the books I read in 2022. So yeah, those are all the books that I read this year. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to stick around because I have so many more videos lined up for 2023. Make sure to subscribe, comment down below your favorite or least favorite book that I read this year, and I will see you all in my next video. I love you all, and goodbye.